God damn it. I was so there until Xeris just whispered, "Mind Freak." We were in the middle of the roll. It's fine. Okay. Let's bring it in. So previously on the Fellguard Season 2. Late in the night, our heroes spoke with Kildor Orlana, the Scroll Keeper for the Arcane Alliance. And he seemed to be pretty much against helping them out, trying to protect himself and the students. But as he was speaking, he wrote a number on a scroll and handed it off to them. The next day, the group investigated this room number and discovered a good number of evidence against Kashar in there. A torn letter of resignation belonging to Kashar himself, some vials of what looks like spider venom, giant spider venom, and a bracelet that belongs to a tribe in the Southern Expanse, a place where Kashar lost his entire family. After an altercation with Lucer and Fyra, the group decided it was best to leave the Alliance, and while traveling back along the road, they were stopped by a wagon and some thugs. It was revealed that these thugs belonged to Kashar, who then trapped the players in a force cage and asked the players if they had figured out his plan yet. He considered this a test of sorts of their skills and said that he had one final test. A test of their ability to make a hard choice when no one else will. He gives them a choice between two people that he believes are not worth keeping around, Callan Silverson and Sarah Delnice. And during this, Pepper misty steps through the force cage and saves Callan, and can only watch as the thugs killed Sarah by cutting her throat. The group then fought the thugs, defeating them, but realizing that the thugs are actually wearing Arcane Alliance sigils. And our session ended with our heroes broken and defeated, heading back towards Dawnspire. And so we begin our story with darkness. There's a strange sound, a muffled shouting. This feeling, this crushing feeling of fear. And a voice calls out, "Choose." And you watch as Pepper vanishes in front of you. A wispy trail of mist suddenly shooting out from their position, and Pepper grabs Callan, diving to the ground, and you look up as you see a thug holding a blade to Sarah's neck. And you blink, and you see your face, Voxy, instead of Sarah's. You try to move, but you can't. All you can do is watch as the thug draws the blade across your neck, and you feel all of it. It cuts through your skin, and you feel warmth rush down your chest, and you stare straight ahead, unable to move, trapped in your own mind. Looking into the force cage, you watch as Sarah collapses to the ground, and she shouts out, "Voxy! Voxy!" And suddenly, you awake, and you scream out, and you see as Callan is holding onto your shoulder, saying, "Voxy, Voxy, it's okay."
Thank you. Sorry if I woke you up.
No, it's all right. I haven't been able to sleep either.
Is everyone else asleep?
I don't know. Do you think everyone else would be asleep, or do you think that they would be awake by this point?
This depends on how loud I was.
I think your scream was pretty loud, and I think people did start to stir on it.
Okay.
Callan says, "Look, it might be best if we begin to get ready. I think we're here." You look out the window and you can see
good idea.
that it's a drizzly morning as you are all arriving back in Dawnspire. After riding throughout the whole night, most of the day from yesterday and then deep into the night and then now into the early morning, the sun is not fully risen, but the countryside outside of Dawnspire is busy and active. There's farmers who have gotten up with the rooster's crow, are in the fields toiling away, and markets you can see are being set up with vendors opening their stalls, and the air is full of the scent of baking breads and the smell of fresh rain. The horses pulling your cart seem exhausted and are moving at a pretty slow pace as you are now approaching the outskirts of Dawnspire. And as you all ride, you have a moment as you're all getting collectively back up. Where is Sarah's body, do you think?
We had the cart, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have probably left her wrapped in the cart as we were traveling.
Okay.
So like down in the little space between the seats. Like
Yeah, wherever would have been the least obtrusive, and or in the center with the seats around.
Sure. Yeah. I think
the floorboards.
Right in the center of the cart, where you all can unfortunately still see her body covered by the blankets, but out of the way of like foot traffic, we'll say. You all slowly begin waking back up after having slept uncomfortably through the night. The carriage ride was not a comfortable one, as was the you all sitting with your thoughts. You watch as Callan knocks on the cart door, and it begins to slow down to a stop outside of a residence. He gets up and, using a cane to do so, you watch as he gets over towards the door, which is opened up by Roby, who is standing at attention. And he turns back to the others and says, I can get started with the arrangements if you'd like. You all can rest here for now. We'll probably travel just outside the city in a few hours, and we'll have the funeral there. There's food in the kitchen and fresh clothes in the guest room. And you watch as he begins walking towards a cottage. As one by one you all step out of the cart, you can see that this cottage is a traditional, like, medieval style, like white walls, brown wooden cross beams, terracotta rooftop. Larger than an average home, but much smaller than his place in the city. The front garden is fenced in by a beautiful white painted fence, and the garden itself is full of wildflowers and vegetables, and you can see that there are big fat bumblebees that are flying around inside, and butterflies. And as you all begin to make your way in, you watch as Roby and Marcin begin grabbing Sarah's body and start to move it. They pick up the body and walk with it as they come out of the carriage and walk towards the cottage itself. They open the front door and walk in. The four of you, do you follow them?
I did.
Yeah. Stepping inside, you can see that this house looks different than a lot of Callan's other places. There's no pictures of himself in here, but in fact what you see are these like dozens and dozens of paintings, very colorful and vibrant and full of still lifes and people and monsters and places. And Pepper, you immediately recognize a lot of this art. Over the past few years, you've given Callan so many pieces of art, and you never saw him put any of them up. You just assumed that he probably tossed them. And as you walk in, you see that he has hung and framed every single piece that you've given him. He walks in with his cane, and you see as he points around and points Roby and Marcin towards a guest room. You watch as they go in and they lay Sarah's body down on one of the beds, and they close the door behind him. And Callan goes out and says, "Is there anyone you want me to fetch and have them come to the funeral later?"
I really hate to do this. I don't know if we should have a funeral just yet.
You're right. I know.
It's not.
I don't want to either, but I think we have to. I don't want to wait, but I think we have to.
Okay.
Right now, Kashar knows or thinks that we are debating following him. If we make it known to the world that one of the former champions has died, he could see that as us choosing a side.
Yeah. Is there somewhere, if we keep her here, is it safe?
I believe so,
Alan,
yeah.
do you have an ice house?
I do. It's a walk-in. You want to keep her frozen?
Just cold enough to delay the pyre.
Xeris, Peppa?
Yeah, I agree.
All crack on the left.
All right. I'll have them move the body. We won't get anything taken care of, but y'all can rest here as much as you'd like. I might take an hour or so. It's been a rough couple of days.
Yeah.
He goes and he whispers something to Marcin and Roby, and they nod, and you see as Roby looks at him and looks at you all confused, and then looks at Callan, and Callan nods, and Roby gives sort of a nod but looks down and goes into the bedroom, and you watch as they bring the body out and bring it in towards the kitchen. They go, and he has a walk-in freezer that they bring her into. At that point, he gets up and he goes upstairs, leaving the four of you in the living room.
Are we?
We need to
Is it
act
time?
fast.
Okay.
Whatever happens now, it just.
Okay. All right. let's figure out what we're gonna do. We need to know a few things. We need to know where we can find allies, and that means figuring out which guilds did and did not vote for Kashar to be instated as the Fellguard leader. We need to get Barum out of the city. We need to.
I think there's going to be no end to the amount of things that we list right now as far as what we can and cannot do. The one question that's been spinning through my head is we still don't know his end game. We still don't know what his goal is. So even if we are warning people or trying to find out more, we don't know what to warn people of besides the fact of the little evidence we have found. I mean, for all we know, he thinks we passed that test. I mean, based on your previous interactions with him, Oliver, and what he made us witness, there's a possibility that he thinks that we're cool with it.
I think you're right.
And not in so many words, but... And I know that... I don't...
That's good, though.
So
Well,
why
it's
don't
not
we
good, but
let him think that we're... Why don't we let him think that?
Well, if we let him think that we're on his side, or at least some of us are, that's how we find out what's going on. From the inside.
Whatever gets us close to him.
I mean, it's definitely not going to be as easy as getting close to him and taking him out. That's for sure, because we have no idea who else is with him. For all we know, we cut off his head and 2 more take place.
there is also the possibility that if we go in there, that he's not going to let us leave the hall again until he's got something for us to do.
Which is why it shouldn't be all of us.
Okay, yeah.
So which of us gets to go?
I'll go in. I don't know. I feel like there's something about what you once told me, Oliver, about how I am the one that should be willing to make the hard decisions, and I didn't make. I froze. I froze back there, and I wasn't able to do anything. But I'm also the kind of person that can make dark decisions that he may be okay with. And maybe I can speak his language. Maybe I can, I don't know, make him believe that even if that we're on his side, that I'm on his side. I don't know, but if there's anyone here that's in a gray area, it's me. And I need to do something, because I did fucking nothing.
There was nothing that we could do, Xerus. You don't have to beat yourself up over this one.
You're not the only one who did nothing. There wasn't anything we could do.
Okay, Xerus, if you go in, I'll try to get a hold of my dad with the Band of the Shattered Helm. I'll try to get in contact with your parents, get the Order of the Light on our side.
Some kind of record in the Fellguard of who voted for Kashar and who did not. That has to be some kind of public thing. Maybe, I don't know, maybe there are people around the Fellguard who overlapped his time when he was a champion that might have some kind of clue as to, I don't know, what he's been up to or something. I don't know. If you're going in, then I think you should try to find as much as you can, or send somebody else in too. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like I'm hesitant to do any sneaking around, because I feel like the moment I say, hey, I agree, or we're on your side, or whatever, he's still gonna for sure be suspicious, especially if we don't all 4 show up all together. So eyes are gonna be on me pretty harshly. Now that could be an advantage, because then that means the rest of you could potentially do something.
Well, going into what I would guess would be the library is not something incredibly suspicious to look at records.
True.
And if you, I don't know, found a way to spin asking people about Kashar, could be that, you know, he's a new person we have to work with very suddenly, and we want to know more about him or something more, subtle.
Yeah.
But I don't know, it's just ideas.
Yeah. Either way, everyone has to believe that.
Maybe he'll believe that you decided before we did. And that's why you're alone. Maybe he'll believe because you are closer to being that gray area that he talks about. Maybe you just tell him that we're undecided and deciding. And you didn't want to wait.
This, Pepper, would you want to go with him?
I can. Yeah. I mean, I could go.
It sounds like the plan in the Fellguard Hall consists of snooping and interviewing, and both of you are rather good at one each.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want any of us to have to do this alone.
I'll go with you to talk to your dad, Oliver.
Okay.
You hear footsteps come around the corner, and you see Roby. And he's kind of holding his cap that he has and kind of scrunching it a bit in his hands, and says, is there anything specific that you want me to do, Xeris?
Roby, I think this is getting too dangerous. I think I think you need to stay back unless someone else has a suggestion, or if he could help you, Oliver. I don't want any
too dangerous.
I mean, you saw what happened, Roby.
Yeah,
We
I
can't
did, and I watched as you four handled it. You dealt with all of those thugs that were running around doing stuff. Y'all's is fighters.
Yeah, but what if we can't protect you?
You can. I know you can.
The way we protected Sarah.
Pepper gets up and leaves the room.
Okay.
I'm
guys.
gonna follow Pepper.
Roby, I do have a job for you.
He looks over after Xeris as Xeris is walking and turns to you and says, Xeris is my boss.
He just told you to do what I said.
What?
I'm gonna quickly grab a sheet of paper and scribble out a little letter, and I'm gonna say, do you know how to get to the Band of the Shattered Helm headquarters?
I think I can find it. Probably ask around, but I've never been to this city before.
Okay. I want you to take this letter,
Okay.
deliver it to the Band of the Shattered Helm, It goes to someone named William Shakestaff.
Okay.
Do not let anyone know where it came from.
Okay. You can trust me.
Hey, Roby. As far as anyone knows, this is from a random person that sends mail. You don't know where it comes from, just like you didn't know where the last ones came from, okay?
Got it.
And hey, if anyone tries to hurt you, I want you to run as fast as you can away from them.
Okay. Okay. I can do that.
Right.
Tell Xeris thank you.
Yeah, definitely.
And he, you see as he like goes to his bag and pulls out a small dagger and tucks it in his belt and exits the room.
I'm just gonna like plop down onto a couch and go like, oh, I did not plan to care whether or not the cultist lived or died. Okay.
Xeris and Pepper, you guys are in the kitchen.
I don't think I'm gonna be Jordan. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think I would have gone to the kitchen.
Okay.
I'm
where
gonna be
Sarah's
real. I
body
think after,
is.
Well,
I think
it's
after that
in a
comment, I'm not going to the kitchen.
it is in a walk-in like freezer, so it is not like
I
just
know,
sitting
but
out in the kitchen.
I
But yes,
feel
okay,
like
wherever you'd
that's
like to go.
not-
I would have.
Yeah.
I imagined that I was just gonna, once they cleared a room, I was gonna stop them wherever they were.
Okay. You end up
Yeah,
in
I
a vast library full of books with a desk and a hearth
Cool.
in there.
Pepper, wait. I don't think you should feel bad. You did nothing wrong. Listen, I know you made an impossible choice, and one of us had to make a choice, and I keep thinking that it should have been me. And I don't want you to think you did anything wrong because he gave us an impossible decision. He was going to kill both of them. And we luckily saved one of them. If you even consider it saving, I just want you to not feel bad about it. I know Voxy's going to be torn up, and I'm sure she'll get over it and she'll be okay. We just got to give her time. But I am not mad at you. And I just want you to know that.
I don't know. I know that he was going to kill both of them, and I knew I was the only one that could get out, and I panicked, and all I was thinking about was making sure Callan was okay, and I don't know, I could have tried, some kind of big, like, casting at someone or doing something. There's a lot of things I could have tried that I didn't do.
I'm gonna run in and just grab you and hug you. Listen. You thought the exact thing that any one of us would have thought to save someone they love. If that was my parents up there, you think that I would have thought twice about anyone else but them? It's fine. You acted on your emotions, and that's fine. We had to make a decision. I just wish it was me.
don't know what to say to Voxy. Like, what do you even say? Like, I'm sorry? Like, that doesn't feel, you know, feels like a
Yeah.
big understatement for everything.
I mean, that's a start, but I think she's also gonna come to understand that there really wasn't anything else to do. If you had tried to save them both, he would have killed them both. And it's like, and if you had tried to save Sarah, then Callan would have died. So then we would have been having this conversation still just about a different person. There was no getting out of it without something lost. And we just need to figure out how to move past it. One day at a time.
Seriously, I don't think I've ever hated someone so much in my entire life. I really hate Kashar.
Yeah. And we're going to make him pay.
Yeah.
We're going to get in there. We're going to get close to him. We're going to make him trust us. And then we're going to fucking slit his throat.
I'm gonna kick his ass.
Foxy and Oliver, you two are back in the living room. What's next for you two? Where are we going?
The letter that I sent to the Band of the Shattered Helm
Yes.
Basically says, like, please come to this inn on the edge of Dawnspire, somewhere like right outside the walls, immediately, I guess. Okay. So I'm just gonna look at Foxy and say, I've set up an appointment with my father at an inn not too far from here. I think we should get there first. Will you come with me?
Yeah, I can do that.
All right, so the two of you get up and you head out of the cottage. The inn is not very far away, probably like a 20-30 minute walk. And as you are walking along the countryside, seeing everybody moving about, at this point the sky has cleared off a good bit of the clouds, and you can see that the blue and the sun coming through, casting these long shadows across the fields as clouds are moving back and across. Voxy, as you walk, you can hear the like laughter of children scampering about. You can see people talking with one another. You can hear the call of a neigh of a horse out in a field as you pass by a herd of cows and things like that. What's going through your head as the two of you walk towards this inn?
I think for me, it's just all the different ways that I can and will destroy Kashar for this. Mm-hmm. I think Voxy is just thinking about. It's like one of those like where her thoughts are mixed between guilt at not having done something and plotting what she's going to do next, and all the different ways so that she doesn't get caught off guard again and not be able to do anything. Mm-hmm. And so not a whole lot of nothing else really.
Okay. Voxy, you and Oliver have a moment to chat if you'd like as you're walking.
I think Voxy would be very intentionally silent unless has thus far been intentionally very quiet.
Okay.
Foxy, I need to do a check-in.
What?
I need to check on you.
I'm walking, aren't I?
Hey, listen. I know that you are angry, and I need to make sure that the anger is pointing in the right direction.
What is that supposed to mean?
It was Kashar.
Yeah.
Nobody decided to do that except for him. And I am not telling you how to feel about any of this or any of us, but I just need to know that for right now, I need you to know that we need to rely on each other.
I don't know. I feel like the only thing we can rely on for each other is that we're all going to look out for ourselves.
Foxy, you know perfectly well that that's not what they were trying to do. Look, if you had the ability to teleport out of that force field, I would be having this same conversation with Pepper right now. And I am 100% aware of the... Look, this is what Kashar wanted. He wanted us to choose between the person you cared about and the person that they cared about. But at the end of the day, both of them were gonna die if something didn't happen. And nobody drew that knife except for Kashar. And all I am asking is just, no matter how you feel about all of this and about all of us, we need you right now. And we've spent the last 5 years finding out what happens when the breakfast company doesn't work together. And we got one more job and then we can stop.
I mean, that's if we even make it out of this job to begin with.
Yeah.
I don't know if I really plan to. I'm either going to go down or I'm going to go down and take Kashar with me. And I know that they had to make a choice because none of us could. Sarah was a champion. She could have helped us. She could have fought with us. I mean, I still had so much to learn from her. And that's done. So that Pepper could save, their quirky old roommate? Okay, I get it. They were close. The bond between a champion and their mentor and mentee. You can't describe that, okay? It's more than parental or sibling or romantic even. We knew each other. She knew me better than anyone, and the last time we spoke, she hated me. I don't even really know why. I don't know what Kashar told her, but she did. And I'll never get to make that better. I'll never get to fix that.
It's at this point
She
that
died
you-
staring at me.
It's at this point you arrive at the inn that you are trying to get to. Voxy, give me a color.
A color?
Yes.
Charcoal gray.
Oliver, give me an animal.
Badger.
All right, so you are staying in front of the Gray Badger. It's an inn that you have never been to, but you've heard decent things about. Think of it more like a place where you can grab some food on your way out of town, or if you need to catch some Z's before you get to a big meeting, you can do so here. As you roll up to it, you can see that there is this like kind of cutesy looking art of a badger up on the front. And on the front in this script, you can see the Gray Badger. And as you walk inside, you can see that it's, surprisingly full for an afternoon. A mid-morning, I should say. People are eating food, eating breakfast, talking with one another. You can see that the bartender is lively and busy. You can see that there are people who are carrying bags, exiting certain rooms and stuff. Where are you two going?
Straight to the bar and getting a room.
Okay, gotcha.
I'm just
You
following.
do so. It takes no time at all for you to do so. Bartender gives you a key, and you head upstairs, and you see the room. It's a quaint space. It's like a queen-size bed in there, basically. Think every hotel room you've ever been in. You go inside, and I guess the two of you are just waiting?
So, Voxy, when I was growing up, my parents had very different approaches to helping me when I was having a hard time. And I'm just gonna I pull like a bunch of paper out of my bag, and I'm gonna say, I don't have answers. I don't have the thing that can be said to fix all of this. And I definitely didn't say any of it on the way over here. So when I was a kid, my mom, she would give me paper, and she said that sometimes writing it down helps. Can I give you this paper and I'll go keep watch for my father?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll take the paper.
Okay.
And Oliver, you did say right things. Thank you.
He's gonna pay. A lot.
Fuck yeah, he is.
Alright, I'll be back in a bit.
All right, Oliver, you head downstairs and you get stationed up at a booth watching the door, trying to see for when the Band of the Shattered Helm is going to arrive. And we're going to cut over to Xeris and Pepper. At this point, do you think the two of you have left already, or are you where are you heading right now?
What time of day was it when we got
You arrived like early in the morning before the sun had even risen.
Okay, so in the morning.
Yeah,
Okay.
right now it's about mid-morning.
Okay.
I imagine we would have gotten ourselves together and left.
Yeah.
Cleaned up, wiped away the tears, and
Fair.
made ourselves look more not presentable is not the word I'm looking for, but at the same time, like just like ready for it instead of.
Sure.
I'm sure if we show up dirty, he doesn't care because he's like, oh, they were just in a fight.
Fair.
But
so the two of you head up in the direction of the of Dawnspire. I think. Do you take the carriage?
is it? Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Marcin,
100%.
Marcin
Marcin,
rides with you with the horses. The horses taking their sweet time. They are
Lean into the
exhausted.
privilege.
And
Oh no, these poor horses, dude.
yeah, they're definitely gonna have some time off in the stables when they get dropped off. You watch as the two of you roll up, and after a bit of time, maybe about an hour or so, you arrive at the front entrance of the guild. When you arrive there, you can see that the guild looks pretty much as normal. There's people moving about. There's a bunch of hunters who are gathering around a notice board that has slips on it. And when they see the two of you get out and start walking, you see as a couple people whisper to each other and like look and point in your direction.
Would we know specifically, like, oh, the head of the Fellguard's office is here? Would we know that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. I walking straight there. No stuff. What?
Okay, I would like to also walk there, but I would also like to be like maybe like checking the vibes of like people looking at. Is this like a? Oh, look, cool. The champions are like, oh no, not them. Like, what's
They're back.
They're back. Give me a oh my god, I'm blanking on the name of it. Insight. Thank you. I almost said instinct. That's not right. Insight check.
I mean, it's pretty close. Natural 20.
First roll of the game is a nat 20. Let's go. Let's freaking go.
Let's freaking do this.
Let's freaking do this.
All right. So, I mean, with the nat 20, I'll tell you pretty much what they're saying. I think you probably overhear. They are whispering about you all and talking specifically about the fact that you were like kicked up to the role of champion, how you defended the Fellguard during the Yellow Funeral, and also how you have been tasked with a special assignment.
Right. Okay.
And this new thing,
Cool.
this is different. You haven't heard this before.
I haven't heard about a special assignment.
No.
Cool.
This is what was.
I'll walk next to Xeris and I will say at like a whisper, but like if we were overheard, like it's not like a lower tone, but I'm not trying to like not necessarily be overheard, and I'll just go like, oh, it seems that everyone has started to hear about our special assignment.
As in, what just happened?
Who's to say, Xeris?
Well, he's been.
They're all talking about it.
I mean, he's gotta sow the seeds of the reason why he gave us the promotion so quickly. So I'm sure he made up some story.
Oh no.
Pepper, give me another perception check.
Oh no! I'm beginning to have thoughts. I don't want them.
Don't have thoughts. It's dangerous.
No thought.
No. Made my intelligence negative for a reason. 8.
I don't think that you glean any other information from the people chatting.
Okay. Well,
No thoughts, just vibes. Exactly. That's what
Just
Pepper's
vibes.
MO is.
So your thought is nothing. Okay, got it.
I rolled to have a thought.
And you unfortunately missed the DC.
Oh boy. Okay. Yeah. Then I think we just keep going.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you head over and you walk up past a desk where you can see that let's see here. As you walk up, you can see that there is a sorry, give me 1 second. I'm just grabbing something.
If he has like a secretary or someone like standing outside, like that's outside his office, I'm fully ignoring them and going straight in.
No,
I don't know how what the
I
setup
think
is.
I think that's fine. I think I was grabbing her name
Okay.
real fast, but what happens is you
Gotcha.
get up
Okay.
and you walk into towards the office, and you can see that Steward Zuri, the Dragonborn, is sitting back behind a desk. And when she sees you, she stands up and says, "Champions, I did not expect you this," and you just continue walking as she
I'm
tries
just gonna
to grab
nod.
you.
I
and
would
keep
like to just like as he's going, I like stop for a second and I'm like, "Hi, Stuart Zuri. We just want to talk to you Kashar really quick." Oh, Zioris is going. Goodbye, Ziordi. I leave.
She
I will
follows you
gesture
to
a
the
nod.
door
That's all.
as
That's all.
you walk in, and when you go inside the room, you can see that Kashar is currently talking to a dwarf. And you immediately recognize this dwarf as Mordain Marbleforce, the dwarf who set up the jaunt tech for you all.
Gotcha.
You see him talking with him, and he's saying something. You catch the tail end of their conversation as Kashar says, "It's certainly very intriguing." And then he looks up as you two walk in, and Steward Zuri says, "I'm sorry, sir. They just walked in." And he raises his hand and goes, "It's quite all right. Xeris, Pepper, it's wonderful to see you. Please come in. Mordain, if you would, please." And he gestures to the door, and Mordain gives a deep bow and stands back up and says, "Right, we'll reconvene later." And he walks out the door. So, Xeris and Pepper, you are standing in the office of Kashar. And you watch as Kashar stands up from behind his desk, walking around in front, and leans back up against the desk and says, "I'll be honest. I can't say I'm surprised, but I'm a little disappointed to not see all of you."
Well, I'm sure they'll come around. I just figured you didn't want to be kept waiting.
Right. So he goes and he sits down back behind the desk as the two of you are standing there. And he goes, "I assume you saw the paper already."
Honestly, Kashar, we have not. It was rode all night. It was a long one for us. So
Gotcha.
I came straight here.
Well, here, read for yourself. He reaches over and he grabs a copy of the Dawnspire Times and tosses it in front of you. It lands on the desk, and you can see in big bold letters, "Mystery and Mourning. Arcane Alliance Battalion found slain." Early yesterday morning, a battalion of elite spellcasters from the renowned Arcane Alliance was discovered dead along the road between Basin Crest and Glint Harbor. The gruesome discovery was made early yesterday morning by a group of rangers patrolling the outskirts of the forest. The bodies of the spellcasters showed signs of a fierce battle, with scorch marks, shattered staves, and lingering traces of potent magical energy still crackling in the air. However, those responsible for the vicious attacks are still unknown, leaving the entire magical community and the kingdom in a state of shock and grief. The Fellguard, the kingdom's foremost monster hunting guild, has taken immediate action to investigate the incident. Leading the investigation is none other than Kashar Andros, the newly appointed head of the Fellguard and ex-member of the Arcane Alliance. Quote, I consider the Arcane Alliance to be my family, and their loss is felt deeply. It's not lost on me that this attack takes place just after the attack on the Fellguard, and at this moment, we cannot say whether or not these attacks are linked, but know this. I will do everything in my power to protect my family. Therefore, I am assigning my most capable warriors, the champions of the Fellguard, to this investigation. They will pursue every lead and utilize all of our resources to ensure that such a tragedy does not occur again. There's also a quote from Lucerin Fyro, a member of the council. We have lost some of our brightest and most dedicated spellcasters, and their sacrifice will not be in vain. We stand with the Fellguard and trust in Commander Kashar to lead a thorough and just investigation. The Dawnspire Times will continue to provide updates on this developing story. Our thoughts and prayers are with the families of the deceased and with all those working tirelessly to protect our realm. And he gestures down to the paper and says, "Congratulations."
That's a great quote, Kashar. Good job.
Thank you. I can be a little eloquent when I want to.
I would say so. Well, good work, team. Did a great job. They were honestly, Kashar, they were kind of tough. That was a close one. But got them in the end.
He stares at you with his hands folded in front of him.
I just look at Xeris for help.
So, Kashar, I was left with I guess a question. I guess I'm curious, what's next? You tested us once, twice. I don't know, is there a third test, or
Do I need a
do
third
we just
test?
start? I'm just wondering if you had one. Or what your first, I guess, official mission is. Because whatever it is, we stand here ready.
Oh, you have your first mission. I thought it was explicit.
To investigate ourselves?
Did you kill the Arcane Alliance members? Or perhaps was it the cult?
Perhaps.
We will take immediate action on our first mission.
Good. I should hope so. You are the champions of the Fellguard, are you not?
We are. There's
Voxy
no reason
and
we should hold
Oliver are not here, which is intriguing to me. How much time do you think they need?
We'll talk with them. I think I wanted to make haste to get here, and we'll go talk with them. We'll tell them our mission, and we'll get back on track as a team.
How much time?
Day, half day.
Half day. Then I expect you
We need to
back
work
in half a
fast.
day. I suppose it goes unsaid that what you found in the room is not going to work.
I mean,
What
yeah.
we found in what room?
Pepper's got the right idea. Speaking of Pepper, I think congratulations are in order.
Yeah?
Yeah. I mean, you were the one to make the choice and all.
Right. Right. Yeah.
And I do think that the world is a little bit better without weakness in it.
I agree. The more that I thought about, the way things worked under the previous champions, the more I thought that things can only, improve from here.
It was terrible to hear that a former champion had been killed by the cult. What did you do with the body?
It's been disposed of.
It was unfortunate that there were no pieces left behind from what the cult is.
I need deception checks.
Hell yeah.
I wasn't going to get with specifics. But
Baby, I'm a liar. That's what I do.
it's true.
That is a 24.
He goes, interesting. All right. Well, you have your mission. If you could go chat with the other champions, that would be wonderful. Said half a day, Xerus. I expect you back here by the evening.
You got it.
He stands up and walks over to the two of you, holding the newspaper in his hand. And he hands it off to the two of you. And he's towering above you. He's a very tall man. And Xerus, you watch as he puts a hand on your shoulder and hands the newspaper to you and says, just remember that if you do decide to go around my back, I have dozens of safeguards in place. You will not last long. And you'll be begging for the blessing of a slit throat before I'm finished with you.
I think you've already made that perfectly clear.
Good. He's the smart one. All right, you two have your mission. Have at it. And he goes and he sits back behind his desk, and the two of you exit the room. And you see as Steward Zuri looks over and looks back at her paperwork as you walk out into the hall. So, Xerus, Pepper, what are we doing?
Chris, I think we should go look for more information in the library about.
Yeah. Find out, what we haven't already learned so far.
All right, so the two of you begin walking in the direction of the library, and we're going to cut over to Voxy and Oliver. So, Oliver, you are in the like restaurant area of the gray badger. Is that what we called it? Yeah.
Yeah.
And as you are sitting there and people are milling about, you hear the door open and you hear the little bell ring. And you watch as two men walk in. One is a very tall, burly man with a great big bushy beard, like we said, with a silver and gold paladin armor. His right hand has a black glove that is over it, and as he walks, you can see that his hand rests on a greatsword that is at his side. And with him, you see a gold and red dragonborn, who you immediately recognize as Krausiash. Following up behind them is Roby. And when Roby comes in, you see him. He is laughing very hard at something that the paladin has just said. And you catch the tail end of it as Roby says, so then what'd you do? And William Shakestaff, the paladin standing in front of you, says, what else? We tied him to the cart and made him walk back. And they all crack up laughing at this, and Roby claps a little bit and then spots you and points and says, oh, there he is. And you see as William looks over at you, Oliver, and his eyes light up, and he gets this big smile, and he does like a half jog over to you before he picks you up in his arms, holding you tight, and gives you a little like squeeze and goes, Oliver! How are you doing, son?
Hello, sir. I am doing well. Will you have a seat, please?
So formal. Sorry. Yeah. Krause, yes. This is my boy. This is Oliver. I was telling you. And Krause goes, we've met before. And Roby goes and sits down, and William sits down with, and you all sit down at a table as they're all chatting briefly. William looks over at Oliver and says, you know, after Krause here came to the band after he left the Fellguard, he said that he received a very interesting letter from you.
Yes.
It just said the word betrayal.
Yes.
Krausiash goes, I was hoping that you could illuminate a bit more on that, please.
It was a recommendation for a board game that I've recently discovered that I thought you might enjoy.
Very odd to send this in the middle of what all was happening, as I lose my job and am forced to take other work. But I will take this under advisement. I'm not particularly a board game guy. I find it difficult to learn the rules of a lot of them. If it's above Uno, it's not on my level.
Well, all the same, I'm actually quite glad you're here, Mr. Krausiash. I was going to come and conduct this survey with you as well. Mr. Shakestaff, if you'll have a seat. I have been assigned
Oliver,
as...
what is this? Mr. Shakes... It's Dad.
Yes, sir.
The formalities, my God. What are they teaching you over at the Fellguard? I told you, the Fellguard is not where you should be.
Well, all the same, they have assigned me some work to do, and I have been asked to gather some survey information regarding the relationship between the various different guilds, and you were randomly selected as a representative of the Band of the Shattered Helm, so I was hoping you'd be willing to have a short survey with me today.
How have you been, Dad? Oh, I've been good. What about you? What have you been up to? Fine. What's the survey?
with the recent changes that are taking place in the Fellguard, I've been asked to sort of, would you rate the relationship between the Band of the Shattered Helm and the Fellguard to have improved or diminished since the installment of our new leader?
You're asking if I like Kashar?
Oh, this is entirely anonymous.
I mean, I'll be honest, I don't. Oliver, what is this?
All right. Oh, I'm terribly sorry. I seem to have left the second page of the survey upstairs in my room. Would you all be willing to just follow me quickly, and then we'll just get this taken care of?
Tears Light, is he gonna rob us? What the hell is this? You watch as Kralziash goes, he's acting stranger than normal. And Roby goes, seems the same to me. William goes, fine, Oliver, lead on. Let's go finish this survey upstairs.
All right, you will follow me, please.
All right.
When I get to like the top of the stairs, I'm gonna turn to Roby and just say, Roby, I have a quick job for you if you don't mind.
Yes, sir.
If you will stand right here, and
Copy.
anytime someone comes up the stairs, ask them what room they're going to, and if they say room 6, I want you to scream as loud as you can.
Room 6?
Yep.
Copy that.
Then I go.
He stands
into
there, and
room
you,
6.
as you start to head towards room 6, you overhear him going, hey, what room are you going to? And someone goes, 10? And he goes, all right, but you're on thin ice.
Oh. Precious
And-
man.
Oliver, you walk into room 6 with Voxy sitting there at the desk with William Shakestaff and Krausiash following after you.
He walks in. I'm just gonna be like, Oliver, you didn't even give me enough crayons for this. How am I supposed to write "fuck Kashar" this many times? If
As William walks
Hello.
in, he almost kind of like has to like duck under the door frame to get inside, and his frame fills most of this room. He goes and he sits down on the bed as it sort of squeaks under his weight. Krausiash stands in front of the door, and William goes, and your name?
I'm Voxy Rain, a champion with Oliver.
It's a pleasure
We're
to
in
meet you,
the
Voxy.
breakfast company together. You must be Mr. Shakestaff.
William Shakestaff, at your service, servant of Tyr and fighter of evil. I'm with the Band of the Shattered Helm.
Yeah.
Oliver
Heard
said
a
there
lot
was
about
a
you.
second part of a survey up here, and I'm beginning to think that he's trying to sell me a timeshare or steal my kidney. So, Oliver, what's going on?
Krausiash, will you close the door, please?
The door is shut.
Voxy and I are going to tell you some things, and I need you to understand that knowing these things will potentially put you in danger. Sharing these things with anyone will put us in danger.
You see as William leans down on his knee and looks at you and says, "Is someone after you, son?"
Several days ago, as our first mission as champions of the Fellguard, which is, side note, a position that we did not expect nor have any knowledge of being given until right before it happened. Our first mission was to go to the headquarters of the Arcane Alliance to investigate the sheer number of magical scrolls that were used in the attack on the Fellguard. While
I
we
heard
were
about
there,
that. That was terrible.
we were... Yes. While we were there, we gathered a great deal of circumstantial evidence that indicated the attack having been performed at the behest and with the planning of Kashar.
Go on.
When we realized this, we made haste to our carriage to return to Dawnspire. Along the way, we were waylaid by Kashar and several members of the Arcane Alliance, ones that we had just recently spoken to, including several that had given us some of the circumstantial evidence that we had gathered. When we were stopped by them, Kashar had several hostages that included people that were very important to us, including your colleague, Sarah Krausyash.
Krausyash sits up slightly, very intrigued.
Knowing that Sarah was someone that Voxy cared about a great deal, Kashar kidnapped both her and someone else who was very important to another member of our party, and admitted to us that all of the information that we had gathered was correct before making us choose which of the two hostages would live and which one he would kill.
Gods above.
He ended up killing Sarah.
You see as Krausyash
Foxy just
sits
Gets up and
down.
goes to the window.
He sits down on a chair and goes, "No. I told her not to leave the city. I thought I could get her a job with the Shattered Helm. No." And you watch as William has not looked away from you, Oliver, this whole time. He is just sitting there with his hands on his legs, looking at you intently. And then what happened?
We ended up defeating the members of the Arcane Alliance, but not without severe injury, and then we made our way here. We've only been back in the city for a couple of hours now. We're still trying to figure out what to do, but the rhetoric that Kashar was using was incredibly troubling. He made an attempt to sway us over to his way of thinking. We are still in the planning stages of our next steps. But the way that he was speaking indicated that he had an interest in using the full weight of the Fellguard's warrior power to essentially police the population in concordance with his own moral code. He spoke of moral absolutism, and that evil must be defeated at any cost. We seek the support of the Band of the Shattered Helm. We don't have the means to corroborate any of this at the moment, but we are working on finding it. And when that time comes, we ask that you and your organization, at the very least, do not prevent us from acting on it.
Oliver, where are you right now in the room?
Probably standing dead center. Or maybe at this point I've sort of backed up and I'm leaning against the bed.
He reaches over and you see as he like takes your left hand and turns it slightly, and he looks at the two missing fingers. And he goes, "Was that him too?"
No, these were due to my own mistakes.
Do you want to up to them?
It's taken care of.
I don't suppose you've read the paper yet, have you?
No. We just got into town. Why?
Talks of a attack on a battalion of Arcane Alliance members, and that Kashar is intending on sending the champions out to investigate it.
Kashar seems rather intent on having the two of us and our companions by his side when he puts into action whatever the next phase of his plan is. It's possible that he wrote that to cover for us.
Oliver, we at the Band of the Shattered Helm, we had a conversation about Kashar. Almost a decade ago at this point. Probably even more so. I was still working as a paladin with the band, and there was a job that we had. A cult had captured an entire town. And the Shattered Helm had called out for help from the Mages Guild, the Arcane Alliance. We had set up just outside of town. The cultists had gathered all the townsfolk inside the chapel. And we were making plans to ambush the chapel and see if we could protect people when this orc, who was with the Arcane Alliance, rushed forward. He broke down the doors of the chapel, and I tried to stop him, but his battle cry had already alerted the cultists, and during the conflict I remember looking over at him, and his fury was unchecked. He was lost in the heat of the battle. We tried to dissuade him, but his anger had driven him into a rage, and by the time the last cultist had fallen, the chapel was in ruins. Many villagers were dead or injured, just caught in the crossfire of this orc's wrath. And the air was thick with the smell of smoke and blood. My captain at the time tried to speak with him to tell him that this was no victory, but this orc simply said that this is just the price of war, the price of victory. The cult was destroyed and the threat was ended. And then he walked off and we forgot about him until a few days ago when his name was brought up to vote for the new leader. Now, I convinced Duranim to not vote for Kashar. It's at this point that he trusts me enough to listen to my word, and we voted no. And if he has garnered his station through deceit or trickery, you mark my words. And at this point, he stands up. He has made an enemy of the Band of the Shattered Helm. We will do whatever it takes to see he is removed from his position, whether that be through exposure or violence. Mr. Shakestaff, the band is at your disposal.
Thank you, Father.
Krausiash steps forward and says, "You have me too. We lost Zan and now Sarah, and I want to see nothing more than this bastard pay."
We haven't. Thank you, Krausiash. We haven't quite figured out what to do about all of this yet. There is a distinct possibility that Foxy and I will have to get closer to Kashar, and we may find it difficult to return again. I have a means of communicating. If you see a snowy owl flying nearby, there is a distinct possibility that it's me attempting to send a message.
Okay. I'm curious, what's the next step here? You say that he's got things up his sleeve. He seems pretty crafty.
He does. He's always been one step ahead, no matter how quickly we catch up. He perhaps planted isn't the right word. He gave us all of this information that pointed to him having orchestrated the attack and then confronted us. I think that he wants myself and my companions to be on his side for all of this, which to me indicates that he has something that he feels like he needs either high profile or well-versed warriors. I have also seen the brutality that you mentioned in your story about the cult. There's something missing. I don't know where he's going to turn it next.
It sounds like he intends Seems like he intends on ridding the world of evil, or anyone he deems to be evil. You said it yourself, his own twisted sense of morality here.
We have to find a way to figure out what his next target is and find a way to stop him, because as it stands now, he, for lack of a better term, has the largest standing army in the kingdom.
So what's stopping you from just rolling up and assassinating him, taking him out in his own bed?
It's definitely crossed my mind. I worry about inadvertently making a martyr out of him. I don't know if there are others that share his belief system, share his desires. I also, frankly, having witnessed what he is capable of in battle, I worry whether or not I will be successful in that endeavor. If we're being entirely candid.
You think he'll be a martyr if you kill him? You think that there's enough support for him?
I don't know. That's the thing, is we don't know at all how many people he already has joined to his cause. The same people that gave us this information about him having orchestrated the attack during the funeral are the same people that attacked us on the road on the way back.
I see.
And if the leader of the Fellguard, I mean, look at the four of us. The leader of the Fellguard was killed, and we ran into battle to go after who we thought did it. Who's to say that that won't happen again?
So you fear retaliation? Seems like he's holding all the cards here.
That's an accurate assessment. Not so much retaliation for myself, but I have collected a fair number of people that I care about over the last several years.
Fair enough. Sounds like what you need is you need a good number of people to pay attention to you. And you need Kashar to be in the same room as you do this.
Okay. It's doable. There does still stand the issue of the evidence that we do have is inconclusive. And the form that it takes is one that is easily falsely made, easily created from nothing.
Kashar does not seem like one who, when his emotions get the best of him, will be able to keep them in check. I'm saying if you piss this fucker off, he's gonna let something slip.
And if
Okay.
he says that in front of the wrong people, we can knock out his support.
We want to say it in front of the right people. We need to call an emergency council meeting. And with that, we are going to go ahead and take our break. Welcome back, folks. So last we left off, Voxy and Oliver were meeting up with Krausiash and William Shakestaff, Oliver's father, to try to garner help from the Band of the Shattered Helm, which is essentially a mercenary group of paladins who work in the Dueling Serpents. And he had just offered an idea to call an emergency council meeting. And we will get back to that after these messages. No, after we do Xeris and Pepper's scene. So Xeris and Pepper, you two are over at the Fellguard Guild Hall, and you have just entered into the library. Walking inside, you can see that it is lost whatever kind of warmth and love that it used to have whenever Nesh, the scribe, was here. Some of the books are beginning to look a little like spiderwebby. It looks like this place hasn't been cleaned in a bit. And when you walk in, you don't hear anybody immediately. Heading in the direction of where the records are kept, go ahead and give me a investigation check.
Both of us?
Whoever'd like to take it.
I got +2.
I got +0.
All right, I'll take it.
Easy enough.
19.
Beautiful. All right. This is not hard. You go through the records, and you're able to find that there is a section of records that revolve around the votes for leaders in different areas. And as you flip through it, yes.
I was gonna say what I wanted to do was also pull out stuff on the cult just so that looks like that's what we're researching.
Okay, sure, yeah. I mean, I'll let you do that. You grab a couple tomes and scrolls that talk about the cult's whereabouts, as well as details from the last attack. And you go over and you sit down at a table, and you and Pepper dive into these. As you are looking through, you find the evidence of the votes from the last 2 weeks. And you see the votes for implementing Kushar Andros as head of the Fellguard. The Transporter Guild, yes. The Locator Guild, yes. The Band of the Shattered Helm, no. The Union of Charitable Traders, no. The Fraternal Order of the Wandering Muse, yes. The Fellguard did not vote. And the Arcane Alliance, yes.
Charitable Traders, who is that?
So the Union of Charitable Traders is run by Karina Morum, a human who basically is in charge of the Merchants Guild. These people all get together and communicate with each other across all the major cities and ports in the Dueling Serpents, and it is their job to sort of like navigate the economic like issues that pop up in the Dueling Serpents.
Question: Does he? So the vote for is it the vote of a group of people that have to agree to say yes, or is it like a bunch of people telling one person, "Hey, you should say yes," and then one dude has to say yes or no?
It depends. There are some guilds that have multiple heads, and then some that are run by a single entity. For instance, the Locator Guild is run by Kai, a red-tailed hawk Aarakocra. But the Transporter Guild is run by Lawson Trad and Safane Everest, a human and a dwarf. And so they need to be convinced by their groups to vote together. If there's like, they have to be like, a group of people have to agree here. If it's a single entity, they usually will trust their advisors, but at the end of the day, it's their choice to make.
It's their decision. Okay. Yeah, because my thought was like, oh, if he turned the head person, it doesn't matter what the rest of the guild thinks. That's what that was
exactly.
Gathering.
Okay. Is there is that all this states? Is there any like talk, is there any like information on like the discussion that was had, or is it literally just the breakdown of yes and no?
There's like minutes that were taken during the meeting. A lot of it you can see it doesn't have much to do with like anything very interesting outside of like, you notice that Kushar doesn't do a lot of speaking. It seems like it's run by whoever is the like rotating person who is going to be in charge of the meeting this come around. And in this case, it was the Arcane Alliance, and you can see that a lot of the dialogue in the minutes was written and read by Lucerin Fyro.
Yeah,
awesome.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Good for that asshole.
Yeah. Wow. Great timing, gang. Awesome job. Were there any other names that anyone ever threw out, or was it literally just Lucerin being like, you know who's really cool, Kushar? Okay, let's vote.
Yeah, who was the runner-up?
There's a lot of, you can see that there's a lot of names that were listed, but a lot of them were like people from their own guilds.
Okay.
And so like, it's a lot of them kind of going at each other, trying to figure out what the best bet is before they finally settled on Kushar by a majority vote.
Okay. Cirrus, should we? Is it crazy if we try to go meet up with the merchants?
It's not a bad idea. We now know that at least Oliver's dad is going to be on our side, so hopefully some good will come of that.
Yeah.
At the very least, we could notify the merchants of what is really going on here. They may just not like
Well,
him
I mean-
and said no.
Right. But I'm wondering why. There has to be some reason. If everything seems pretty, reputable in the meeting.
Yeah.
And Pepper, you also know that your mother, Morena, is part of the Fraternal Order of the Wandering Muse.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I don't know any of that because
That's
I
true.
wasn't present for any of that.
But they voted
For
for. Okay.
But also,
Also-
why?
We could also talk. I got an in with the Wandering Muses.
Okay.
Party of the Wandering Muses. I know someone in the city with them. Not like a leader, but I think someone pretty important. I think she. I would think her opinion would be valued. I don't know. I don't really keep up with. This is besides the point.
Yeah.
But we could try.
And
I
see
don't know-
why
I don't-
they
I
voted
don't know
yes.
Well, or at least maybe try to tip the scales, make it a little more even.
Couldn't hurt,
No?
I suppose.
If it's 4-2, swing one the other way.
Well, if the vote's already decided, I feel like it's kind of already said and done. I think right now it's just a matter of warning those who aren't aware of what's actually going on here.
Yeah, well, this person owes me a lot, so they should feel pretty guilty and want to help me very badly.
Okay.
All right, Sirius, great news.
Very.
You're gonna meet my mother today.
Oh, there it is. Okay, thank you. You're bouncing around it, and now we landed on.
Wow. It's gonna be great.
We also need to figure out a way to contact Kashar by the end of the day, and what that's going to look like, and if we don't, he'll know something's up.
Okay, so we were reporting fingers at the cult.
Yeah.
So
And if they don't show, and it's just the two of us, we have to have a reason for why they didn't show.
I think it's going to be very bad if we don't all show. But what we could try to do is,
How can we get this information to the others? I mean, Oliver's probably learned part of this, but the
we
rest
could always
of
try to go meet. We could always try to go to follow up with them at the helm of the Shattered Helm. That's-
Band of the
that's
Shattered
certainly
Helm.
Not it. Uh-huh.
It's okay. I
Helm
can't
of the
remember
Shattered
any of these
Band.
names either.
Yeah. We could try to meet up with them after that.
Yeah.
What time is it now? Like, what time of day?
It's probably about like 2 p.m. ish.
Okay.
So
and
we
gotta meet
we-
Kashar by like what? Like
Evening.
Evening.
yeah. End of business.
End of
EOD.
business day.
EOD.
Okay. All right.
So
what was I
we
gonna
go ahead, sorry.
Oh, well, I was just gonna say that if we were gonna go talk to my mother, we should probably go talk to her very soon.
Yeah. So your mother first, and then we find the others.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I could also. Hold
What?
on. Do you think I could send mail from here that isn't like? No, that seems silly. That seems like a silly idea, right? So
Sending
from
mail?
here. Yeah, I was gonna send a letter to Calland. You know Calland, who's done business dealings. say with merchants.
Oh,
Or might
That-
know of some merchants.
he seems to know a lot of people, so that does make sense. Yeah, why wouldn't you be able to send a letter
Well, I don't know if they were. I don't know. I
or a
think
message or a?
I was just
I don't
kind
know.
of. I don't know. I think the whole Arcane Alliance thing got me paranoid.
Okay, out of question. It would there be a way as like the champions, like if we needed to get word to somebody in town, how would we go about doing that? Is there like we send an errand boy to run?
I mean,
to take
typically
a message.
you would probably send one of the people who is like traveling with you, like for instance Marcin is usually the person who would
Yes.
handle something like
Who's
that.
with us?
But
I swear.
Marcin's here, right? Because he
Yes.
came back with us on the.
Marcin did
Perfect.
travel with you,
Perfect.
yeah.
Marcin, my trusted fucking man.
Yeah.
All right.
No, because that was my thought. And if we worried about it being caught, we could potentially try to.
No,
Phrase
I
it
just didn't want it to
correctly.
be like we're sending it through very obvious channels.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think that if you were to go find him down in the stables with the carriage, you'd be able to send him pretty easily to go get whoever you're looking to get in contact with.
Yeah, I want to do that.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
let's do
you leave the library, head down to the stables, and you can see that he is has the horses in their own stalls. They're eating oats happily and drinking water and finally relaxing a little bit. You can see as the carriage is being looked after by a couple people, a couple stable hands, and he sees you and comes up and says, "Right, how can I help you?"
Hi, Marcin. Let's. Can you get a letter to Callan at his place for me?
Of course,
Like super fast? Okay.
of course.
I'd like to speed write a letter to Callan.
Okay.
And basically I want to say that hold, I wrote down all the names. The Union of Charitable Traders did not vote for Kashar. If you can find out why, that would be super helpful. If not, don't worry about it. XOXO, peppered. And then I put in parentheses, but also stay in bed if you, gotta do that.
Gotcha. All right, he takes it and he gives you a bow, and he takes off, running out of the stable. And with that, we're going to transfer over to Voxy and Oliver, who are in the hotel room 6 at the Gray Badger. And you see as your father, Oliver, stands in front of you, and he says, "We need to call a special council meeting, an emergency council meeting." Now, there's only a handful of these that have been called before, but as long as 2 guilds reach out and call for an emergency meeting, all of the guild heads will convene at a meeting point of their choice.
Okay.
Now, if you say that Kashar is as many steps ahead as he has been, there's no way he'll be able to guess that we would all suddenly get up and call an emergency council meeting. I say we. I can't do this, but I can certainly talk to the head of the band.
Okay. So then we just need to find another organization and convince them to join you in calling a meeting.
Yeah. And honestly, the sooner the better, it sounds, because we're not sure what Kashar has on the horizon. And honestly, I worry that the more time he has, the more he'll be able to bury the lead, so to speak.
Okay.
Do you know of another guild that we could ask?
I wasn't privy to the votes, unfortunately. I don't know who voted yay or nay.
Anybody particularly unhappy with the decision afterwards?
I wasn't in the room, Voxy. I'm sorry.
Right.
Do we have to provide a reason for the meeting being called?
Not necessarily. Basically, if the meeting, through official channels, if two guild leaders, I should say, call for an emergency meeting, by right, everyone has to show up at a desired point. They could claim using the Fellguard as a base because most of the leaders are still in Dawnspire right now. If you get all those leaders in a room together and you challenge Kashar, you might be able to get him to slip up. He'll be thrown off by the meeting, but he'll probably have some safeguards in play, things that will protect him. I'm sure you've already heard of a few of them.
And doing the meeting in his hall is going to be problematic as well.
If we call it, he's going to know something's up.
We can't call it.
So we can't call it.
Get two guild members.
Who is allowed to attend these?
Technically, no one outside of the guild leaders. But if you can find some way to get into the guild hall and make your way in, you can probably catch their attention.
Doesn't the Fellguard count as a guild?
Yeah.
Out of game.
Yes, it does.
So
We are the biggest guild.
yeah, yeah. So we could call the meeting under the pretense of us joining Kashar.
Yeah, actually, we could say that we called the meeting to, I don't know, swear an oath in front of everyone.
I think
Or to test the other.
I think the two of you misunderstand. The champions are not allowed inside these meetings. You are not guild heads. You need guild
Can the
heads.
guild heads call witnesses?
Potentially. It's hard to say. If Kashar knows that you were being called as witnesses, it'll be over before it begins. He needs to not see you coming. He needs to know that you're in a different place.
So we can count on the Band of the Shattered Helm. Yes?
You have our support.
Do you know of any other guild heads that we could go to make a plea for their help?
Voxy, I'm sorry, but I don't. I wish I did. Trust me, I do. But until the votes are brought into the public record, I just don't. I wasn't privy to that information.
Even just any guild head, not what their votes were. Any guild head at all that we can talk to.
Doric is a very kind and trustworthy face among the Fraternal Order. Last I heard, however, he He seemed to take up residence in Dawnspire. It was a sudden move, so I don't know what that means, but he's the leader of the Fraternal Order of the Wandering Muse.
Okay. Well, we know Pepper's mom works for them, so maybe we can talk to them.
Thank you. And when this meeting is called, if there is any way for your guild leaders to be able to protect themselves, if our goal is to antagonize and provoke Kashar...
Don't worry about the band. We can handle ourselves. In fact, we're not... where are you stationed at? Where's your headquarters here?
We're staying at a cottage on the outskirts of town right now.
Give us the address and we'll send a couple guardsmen over there to be with you. I'll join you later tonight and we can talk about our plan. In the meantime, I will reach out... Yeah.
I really hate to do this. Can I insight my dad real quick?
Sure. Oliver, insight your dad.
Just... I've been trusting way too many people.
I was thinking about that too, but I didn't want to insult your dad.
Okay. All right. I've rolled a 21.
Okay. Your dad is rude to you. Your dad belittles you. He does not believe in the station that you hold at the Fellguard. But when he tells you that he is going to protect you, he means that with every fiber of his being.
Good dad.
All right. Okay, yeah. I scribble the address down.
I'll go talk to No, please, sorry.
Just don't read it, memorize it, get rid of it.
He looks at it, tears it up, tosses it down, and you watch as Krausiash throws a little bit of fire that completely incinerates it. And you watch as he says, I'll go contact Duranim and we will get a summons for an emergency meeting in order. And Oliver.
Yeah.
We'll meet tonight. But in the meantime, stay safe.
Okay. Krausiash?
Yes.
She's at our cottage if you want to say goodbye.
Thank you. And he opens the door. And you hear in the hallway, "What room are you in? 3?" And he goes, "That's what I thought." And you hear a door open up nearby.
All right. I grab some paper and I sketch out what. There's no languages that only myself and another one of the two of them know, is there?
I don't think so.
The two of who know?
Pepper and Xeris. Because they're a tiefling and a genasi. Okay.
I mean, I know Elvish.
Yeah. Elvish and Dwarvish are a little too common for my taste, is the only thing.
Yeah, Elvish is basically Spanish.
I'm just gonna... Yeah.
Everybody knows a little bit.
I'm just gonna risk it. Yeah. I'm just gonna risk it. I'm gonna say, find another no. Tell to contact my father's company. And then I'm gonna give that to Zepexi and say, I want you to go to the windows of the Fellguard library. If you see Barum, if you see Pepper, if you see Xeris, deliver this letter. Then send her out the window.
Flies off, disappearing. And we're going to cut now over to Xeris and Pepper. So you two are over in the stables. You have just given the note to Marcin, and he has left, running off to go deliver the message to Calland. Where are the two of you heading?
Wherever your mother is.
Heading to Mom's house? Wherever your mother is.
Wherever your mother is.
Yeah, it's
Where's
my
she
mom
be?
my mom gave me her address, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Cool. And we go there.
Okay, so you head out, and as you are walking, you instead of turning down to head towards a lower tier, you instead turn up and head towards the final tier of the city. And the final frontier. And as you walk up the steps, you arrive in this beautifully manicured like street. There's bushes that are all like cut beautifully. Think of this like the Hamptons, right? This is like mansions everywhere, beautiful topiaries. The trees and everything looks pristine. It looks like right out of a magazine cover. After a little bit of time, you arrive over in front of the address that your mom gave you, Pepper. And you can see that it's this like big like mansion like house. Think like honestly like Kevin McAllister's house from Home Alone, where there's a billion windows and it's this big square front with like this little tiny triangle piece right in the front where the roof is. This like almost imposing like I'm rich building, right?
Yeah.
This is what you see.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Pepper,
I
I'm
turn
gonna
to
be honest.
Xerus and I go, I grew up in a shitty inn for context of this place. And I knock on the door.
You
Gotcha.
knock.
I am equally as uncomfortable.
The door opens and you see a very well-dressed butler answer. Tiny pencil-thin mustache, very well-kept everything. It looks neat to a T, and looks at you and says, "Yes, how can I help you?"
Hi, I'm Pepper Feist. I'm Marina's child.
Ah, yes. Mom said that you would be coming to visit soon. Would you like to come in?
That is why I'm here.
Wonderful. Please follow me. He leads you into a large like sitting room kind of area. A lot of like little tea sets and a grand piano, and like this is a pristine space. And he comes in and he gives like a small bow and says, I will go fetch Marina. And goes and walks off, and the two of you are sort of left there kind of just sitting quietly.
How did you guess that was what I was thinking?
Because I also had the impulse to steal something, and I knew that if I had it, you had it like 10 times more.
Yeah, the moment the door opened.
Maybe like a little spoon on the way out, or something really innocuous.
Just to like remember the location. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Just for the memory's sake.
You hear footsteps down the hall, and you turn and you look and you see Marina, Pepper's mother, come in. She's wearing this like beautiful like evening wear, very comfortable but also very classy looking. And when she comes over, you see as she lights up when she sees Pepper. I'm not gonna. Oh, hey, it's Devin. My God.
Stop! Stop, Devin. Stop.
She comes in and she goes, "Pepper, it's so good to see you," and comes and gives you a big hug and says, "And who is your friend?"
This is.
I'm gonna have trouble making eye contact.
This is Xerus. He is also a member of the breakfast company.
Xerus, you look up and you see this air genasi, not a fire genasi, an air genasi. Grayish blue skin, and her hair is slightly billowing in the wind, like this white hair. Even though there's no wind in this space, it's just like kind of flowing as if she has a fan up on her at all times. She holds out a hand for you in greeting, and she says, "Well, it's very nice to meet you, Xeris."
Hi. I'm just gonna like slowly put my hand out, but like not make it so she has to do the 75% and I only do 25%.
It is a
She
weak, limp handshake, and she pulls back and says, "And so, what do I owe the pleasure? What am I thinking? We can get some tea, please." And you see as the waiter, the butler bows and exits the room, and then she turns back.
I'm still uncomfortable.
Don't breathe. It'll all be over soon. We'll be talking about, less fun things. Hi, Mom. I'm sorry that it's been a minute since I've seen you. Things have been bad, and so, but I wish that this talk could be like fun, catching up, getting to know you kind of thing, but unfortunately, it is more of a business talk. If that's okay.
All right. Is everything okay?
No. So that's the thing, Mom. You know how, oh boy. So, have you, I don't think you would have met, Kashar, the new head of the Fellguard?
No, I try to stay out of politics. It just really kind of ruins my day.
Well, guess what, Mom? I'm about to drag you into it so hard. So here's the thing. Kashar, was, no, Kashar has Kashar has problems. So Kashar made us champions, like, overnight, you know?
Yes, I was very proud to hear that.
Yeah, no, it wasn't, see, the thing was, it, like, surprised even us, like, it wasn't really a warning, and it was more so to, like, get us under his thumb, you know what I mean? So, he made us go see the Arcane Alliance, and I, like, will briefly, I will just do that recap that,
Sure.
Oliver did to his dad, that of previously on.
You don't want to just say it all again?
For the third time. She, after your explanation, she looks at you and goes, "Oh, I'm so terribly sorry. Pepper, that's awful. So
Yeah,
what
it
is
is.
that I could do to help you?"
Well, we need people on our side, specifically like guild people, because that's, kind of the only people who have any kind of equivalent power to him. And we saw the way the voting went, and your guild leader voted for him.
Ugh.
And I didn't know if you know the guild leader super
Yes, that was
well, or if
Doric.
you, like-
He made his choice. We'll say that.
So that was not a cool thing, or like what happened there?
No, so let's put it this way. Doric used to be very vocally against Kashar. But then there was suddenly a anonymous donation to his new show, and he was moving into a new place in Dawnspire, and suddenly his whole view changed. I just don't like people who just will lie to your face. You know, people who are so wishy-washy, jumping back and forth.
Okay, so he was just paid off by Kashar?
Seems
That
like it.
sucks. Okay. But like before, he had been very openly against him?
Not in a public sense, but
Right,
in a
okay.
private matters within our guild. We've heard our fair share of dissenters, we'll say. Again, I try my best to stay out of it. It does, it bums me out.
Yeah, it is a bummer, that's for sure. Do you think that it would be helpful at all to try to gently
press Doric for, info on this bribery, not bribery kind of deal?
What do you need from him?
I don't know, Mom. I don't really know what we can do here, to be honest. But I was just thinking that at first I was thinking we need people who already dislike him, but now I was thinking that maybe if we could try to get somebody that's in his pocket out of his pocket, that would also be very useful.
He seems to be very good at blackmailing and getting people to be on his side for reasons against their own will. So it's very possible that they didn't agree.
I could try speaking with him, see if I could maybe get him to speak out against Kashar, if you'd like. But
Helpful. Do you know what you can also say to
Sure.
to kind of like sweeten the pot for him, if you will? For his next show, the one after this one, he'll have an anonymous donor double everything that he got before from Kashar.
I'm sure that will. I'm sorry, do you hear that? And she looks back over her shoulder, and Xeris, you and Pepper look around, and you can hear a tapping sound coming from the front door. And you watch as the butler gets over and walks over towards the door, looks through the little pinhole and goes, strange, and opens it up. And there is a flurry of movement and a glowing blue and white owl flies through into the living room and lands and looks at you and Pepper. And you see as Morena goes, oh my, what, shoo,
No, Mom, it's
Paul,
not a,
get
it's
it!
not a real bird.
It's
It's not a real bird. It's a magical pretend bird.
And the pretend bird's with us.
oh, why is it
Sorry,
here?
Mom.
What does it want?
Probably giving a message. Hold on. Can I take the little...
Yeah, there's a little scroll. You take it, open it up. It says, find another no. Tell to contact Father's company.
Okay. Well, not a no, but a maybe. Hey, Mom, if Doric agrees to raise concerns about Kashar, could you tell him to get up with the Band of the Shattered Helm?
Of course I can. Yeah, yes, I'll make sure he gets this message right away.
Hey,
Sweetie, are you in trouble?
oh my God, so much so.
Is your life in danger?
Not at this immediate moment, but if like any wrong move and but it's going to work out. We're going to make it happen and everything's going to be fixed.
Okay, I trust you.
Cool. Thanks, Mom. This is really helpful.
Of course.
Um,
She stands up and she says, so, I suppose I'll get on this now. You're welcome to stay for tea if you like.
We don't have time.
we kind of have to get moving, but that's really nice. And when this is all wrapped up, hopefully very soon, I will take you up on tea, and it won't be about politics.
All right. She goes and she gives you like a hug, and then she holds out a hand to you, Xeris, to shake.
And I just
Another
begrudgingly
gross
Yep.
handshake. You watch as she grimaces a little bit, and then turns, and as she turns, Pepper, you catch us, she wipes her palm on her dress.
Oh my god.
And she says, well, I'll let you know when I've reached out to the Band of the Shadowed Helm.
Thanks, Mom.
Of course.
And I give her Callan's new address.
Okay.
Or Callan's cottage address to like send post to.
Okay. Gotcha.
Pepper, destroy that message from Oliver.
That's it.
Oh, you just set it on fire. You don't eat it. You set it on fire. And
No.
I could have eaten it. I asked them to do it because they could light it on fire.
all right. Is there anything else that the four of you want to do, or would you rather just reconvene back at the cottage?
I guess we don't have an inn with the Traders Guild, the Merchants Guild.
We're waiting on
I
that
asked
from Callan.
to
Yeah.
check on it. So hopefully he can at least point us in the right direction.
Yeah.
What do you think? I think that's
Besides
all we can
that,
do.
yeah, because we need to tell everybody that we have to meet up with Gashar. Because if we don't,
Yeah,
we did.
we need to figure out both of each other's plans right now.
Yeah.
All right.
Very badly.
So let's
Yeah.
have everyone reconvene back at the cottage for now. It's probably about 4 p.m. So you still have a couple of hours until you need to get to Kashar's to chat with him.
EOD.
Yeah, it's you don't. It's not EOD yet. You still got time. And you all arrive, and you're in the living room of the cottage. I think Oliver and Voxy get there first, followed by Xeris and Pepper, with Zepexi flying in behind. The house is empty. And when you walk in, Xeris and Pepper, you arrive to see Voxy and Oliver in the living room.
Nice. Did it go well for you?
Yeah. And then just fill them in on everything that we did earlier.
Do the same.
Yep. Let's just
So-
fast forward till we talked about everything.
So we'll find a way to get into the meeting. I'll provoke him and hopefully set him off hard enough that he comes for me. And
How are
we'll
you
go
gonna
from
do
there.
that?
Wait, whoa. What about? Does it have to be you? Just
I think
provoke
we
him
will
solo?
all provoke him, Oliver.
Yeah, we all got to get in on this, Oliver.
Yes, I'm just saying that I think it's in our best interest if I'm the one that he lashes out at.
I mean,
I
I
mean,
feel like an
he's
attack
also
on
in a
one of
room
us is
full
an
of
attack on all
People.
of us.
So
I-
if he attacks one person, like, you know, we still have like people that can heal in the room, or like other fighters, and like, so I think it doesn't necessarily matter who he goes after. I know you could take a hit very well, Oliver, and we are very proud of you for this, but I think that the whole like self-sacrifice thing needs to take a step back here.
Oh, no, Pepper, it's not that at all. It's, yes, I can take a hit, but also single combat is, I have a degree. And I'm best if he's focused on me. And if he's focused on me, that creates openings for the rest of you to come in. And
It's true. I do think if we make our move at this meeting and we gotta run with the possibility that that there's going to be guilds that could potentially side with us that said yes. But then we also have to go with the fact that there are probably guilds that are going to side with him.
Arcane Alliance for sure.
For sure, Arcane Alliance. So we know at least it's 2 versus however many.
But
We know we have 2 on our side.
they did just lose some significant numbers, which
Yeah.
is very unfortunate for them. But yeah, so Lutheran will definitely be with them. Hopefully the Wandering Muse guy won't. I don't know about the locator or transporter guild. That's pretty up in the air.
Question: the Transporter Guild, they're the ones that designed the gauntlets, correct?
And this is what I was thinking. Right. I have a plan. Okay. So we have to meet Kashar tonight. We have to tell him, like, we have a plan for dealing with this, right? And
We have to
Oliver,
give him
your
something. If we give
Yes,
him nothing,
and-
he's going to suspect something.
And Oliver, your dad said that it would be best if he thought that we were not even in town for this, right? Like he had no clue we were coming to really throw him off, right? So here's what I'm thinking. We go to Kashar and we're like, Kashar, here's the deal. We're like, I don't know if we're like staging something or we're like, hey, we're gonna go back to where the Arcane Alliance like fight happened and like dig up something or like, I don't know, right? But we leave town. And we do need another one for this, but if we use the gauntlets to come back right thing in the morning, right before the guild meeting,
Or during the guild
that would
meeting,
be a big surprise.
in the room.
Yeah.
We could.
But
I
we
mean,
need a
it
fifth
depen-
person.
It depends on how good. It depends on how good the gauntlets were. To be fair, and we also need the fifth one. But
But we're only
I would
going
be
one
really
direction.
willing
The problem came around when we went the other direction.
it's true.
We just used it once this time, not twice. Problem solved, right?
We know that guy's still here. So
Yeah, we saw him earlier.
yeah. So if we go get the other one from him,
Don't we
Who's
still
the fifth
need?
person?
It's probably gonna have to be the guy that designed them. Still attached to his wrist. We don't know if he is.
So it's not on
Like, are we
Mordane's
able to-
wrist. It was on Calcoran's wrist, who was the Dragon Watcher who came with you guys. That being said, you have not met with him, and you think that he probably has met up with Mordane since then, and probably has had the Jaunt Tech removed.
Okay.
just need
Either
it
way,
back.
Yeah,
we need it back, and we need it attached to a fifth person.
yeah.
'Cause
You
if we have
four
to
just
all-
never visited
We
them.
have, we have a fifth person. This is great. Roby
And
is
that-
right there, you guys.
He looks over really quick at you four, and goes, "Sorry, hear my name?"
Hi, Roby. Sorry, I was talking about you in front of you, and that was really rude.
That's okay.
Roby,
That's what a
if
lot of
you-
people do.
I'm so sorry.
Sorry
Roby,
about it. I like that I'm in people's mouths.
Oh, that's a good way to look at the Roby. Roby,
I'm the
if-
talk of the town.
Roby, I want to finish my sentence now.
Sorry, I keep interrupting. Sorry, Xeris.
Roby,
I'm done. I finished speaking. Right now. Done. Zip. Zilch. Nothing coming out.
Roby, stop.
Sorry.
Pepper.
Roby, if we were to get you a little device that implanted itself into your arm and was able to help you teleport with us, your friends, would you like that? Yes or no?
He
Oh,
looks
yeah.
he looks over at Xeris.
You can answer.
Yeah, I'd like that. I think that'd be cool. Does that mean I get one of them cool wristbands that y'all got?
Yeah, it'd be like that.
Cool, I'm part of the club.
Would be. Okay.
This is great though. This is like the exact opposite of what I did with the cult. They wanted to kill people and suicide a lot, and then you guys wanted to go in and save people. I mean, that's like a flip-flop. It's like a reversal.
That's exactly what it is, Roby.
Really beautiful.
Hey,
Do I get my own room here?
Roby, would
Oh shit.
Oliver?
just I want to make sure. Do you understand that by joining us, you're going to be in danger?
Yes.
Are you okay with that?
Yes.
Okay.
You're
Okay.
You don't care that you might get killed doing this?
You know, for a while, I didn't care about dying because I thought that I was promised an eternal afterlife serving the undead lord of the Undying. But now, I think that I'm just happy having a good purpose. And if I'm helping y'all and you're helping people, I think it's worth it.
Okay, Roby.
Thank you, Roby.
Okay. So we go back to the guild hall. We get
We have to meet with Kashar.
okay, yeah.
Tell him that you guys have agreed, because we told him we were going to convince you to agree. And then we need to tell him why we are leaving town. Which, if it is to create some sort of falsehood of who killed those Arcane Alliance members, we need to come up with a good reason and fast.
I think we tell him that we're planning to pin it on the Merchants Guild. He's already they're already in his bad graces because they didn't vote for him. I can very easily spin some incredibly true story about them taking advantage of lower income folks and saying they need to go. We're going to use this as the means. I think that that's something that he would be okay with.
Well, not taking down the whole guild, but like taking down like someone specific in there.
Sure, yeah.
In his eyes, they would be weak.
Yeah. There's definitely already some issues.
He will
Thought
will
you said
expect
he
some
wanted the
tie.
cults.
I was gonna say he will expect a tie to the cult. Thank you, Roby.
Roby, I have a question for you.
Yeah?
Do you have like any like memorabilia or like attire or anything that you had that would signify that you were in the cult?
Sure. He pulls up his sleeve and you can see that there is a tattoo on his arm of the sigil.
Right, something that I could remove from your body without pain.
Oh, you can take it.
We can-
No, I don't want to do that, Roby.
Listen, we know what that tattoo means. We can tell him that we're going to put it on the people that we go after.
Could we just
Yeah.
I'm
take
confused. Y'all were going after the
Roby?
cult. Can't you just go after they're up in Silver Oak.
Oh,
We could just go after the cult. You guys.
Okay.
This is easy.
Oh. So we're trying to make this
Which one is
complicated.
Roby the
and
smartest of
Roby's
us?
the one that made us realize it's
Roby,
not
you're a
complicated.
genius. I'm so happy you're on the team.
Me
You're
too.
the smartest one of us all.
Oh, stop. Anything for my fans.
Great. Tell Kashar that we're going to Silver Oak as soon as we leave.
Yeah, the
For
cults,
tonight.
they've got a little place out in one of the mines. They've been working out of there for some time now.
Roby, you are perfect. Okay, so we're going to.
No, stop. You're
We
perfect.
found where they are. They're located in the mines of Silver Oak. We're gonna go in and clear them all out. Easy.
Do we need to explain where we got that information from, or just tell him we got that information?
You think he'll really care? Because
I
also
don't
we
know.
can just say we got it from a cult member that we, you know.
Understood.
We tracked down
And
a rope.
he goes and he grabs a knife.
No.
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 Sorry. Force a habit here. And he hands the knife over.
We can just say that we tracked it. We got the information from a rogue, cult member that we found in the sewers. That's not hard to believe.
We could just put Roby in handcuffs as we leave.
Oh no, he's gonna want to kill Roby. Like,
Yeah.
for sure,
Well,
he's gonna be like,
I-
all right, cult member in front of you. Let's do it.
I
we're-
had
we're-
this thought, but yes, I would be afraid
Yeah.
that he would want to just rip his jaw off.
Or we just have him
Ugh.
in handcuffs as we leave, and then we just so that if anybody's watching,
I mean,
It
if
looks
the
like
idea is for us to not be here, I think we just say we're going on a quest, and then
we
like
got a side quest.
We got
Yeah, we got-
intel.
we're going on a
I think
quest.
we can just tell him that we're going after the cult. We found out that they're running out of the mines in Silver Oak, and if he asks questions, then I will answer them because I am very good at lying.
Do we have to
Sure.
tell him, or can we just leave a note?
We
Pretty sure
have
we're gonna have to talk to him in
to
person
meet him.
before he's gonna.
He has
Oh,
to.
that's right. We have to meet him tonight. That's right.
He has to
And-
believe that Oliver and Foxy are on his side.
It's at this point you hear a knock at the door.
Go
Fuck.
to the door.
You open it up, and standing in front of you is a very, very large man adorned in silver and gold armor. This is William Shakestaff.
Hello, sir.
Whew.
Hi. I'm looking for Oliver. Is he here?
Yes, Oliver. Sorry, probably should have been more subtle given the circumstances.
It's
What
all right.
do you want to know?
I'm his dad.
Okay, Oliver, your dad's here.
What's your name?
Pepper
I-
Feist.
You're fine. I like you, Pepper. All right. We've got a couple of people. We'll station them outside, or we can bring them inside if you prefer. Any preferences?
Inside is more inconspicuous, right?
It's your call. It's your hideout.
I have an owl posted on the chimney. We can quickly keep an eye out that way.
Wonderful. All right, fellas, come on in. And you watch as a group of about 6 guards come in with you. They walk into the living room. At this point, everyone's like sort of filling the space. And you look that you have Krausiash and you have William in here as well. And Roby is looking up at the guys who are in the armor. And he turns to you, Xeris, and says, "Sir, at some point, can I get armor like that?"
Yes, eventually, Roby, eventually.
Hell yeah. And you see the guard is like just staring straight ahead. And William goes, "So, I sent a word up with Duranim, and we can send an emergency summons tonight. I also
Perfect.
received a message from a Morena from the Fraternal Order of the Wandering Muse. She says that she believes Doric will be able to send a summons as well. So
Oh my
that's
God,
it, Oliver.
You guys, this is the first time my mom has ever come through for me in my entire life. This is such a big deal. Ah,
Amazing.
So it seems like we've got our two emergency summons.
Okay. Now
I
we just
had-
need our reason to.
I had Duranim write a summons having everyone meet at the Fellguard Guild Hall, and by tomorrow at noon. They'll be meeting in the council chambers of the hall, and that should give you ample opportunity to do your thing. That being said, I'm almost certain Kashar is going to be putting security out. At this point, Krausiash steps forward and goes, "We believe that he might use the knights as guards for the guild hall. If he does so, the band of the Shattered Helm can free up some of their attention. Having them focus on us, we promise that we won't kill anyone, but we will do our best to try to keep them engaged. That being said, we're gonna have to make sure that nobody gets inside, or that they don't see you once you get inside. Now, do you have this special way of getting inside, like you mentioned, or
We're going to go get it tonight.
understood?" At this point, there is another knock on the door.
I'm just gonna wait, Pepper, wait.
Bye.
I just want to look through Zepexi's eyes real quick and see who it is.
There is a woman with ashen hair and gray skin standing outside of the house, and you can see that she is waiting patiently for the door.
Okay, wait. I have met Morena. Is it Morena?
It is definitely Morena.
Okay, cool. It's Morena.
Okay. I go to open the door. Marina!
She goes, Peppa. Everyone's here. Hi. My name is Morena. It's lovely to meet. Hello. And you see as William goes, hi. Have we met before? And
No.
Yes!
Oh, no!
Yes! Yes!
and Marina goes,
Become siblings.
well, I perform with the fraternal order for a good bit of the time, and he goes, that's it. I saw you at the King's Crown 2 months ago in Dawnspire. You were fantastic. And she goes, please, only as good as the material. And you watch as she suddenly looks back at the room, and everyone's sort of staring, and Roby sort of coughs a little bit and looks over at Pepper and Oliver.
Roby does that?
Yeah.
This is Roby.
Hi. I'm a cult member. Sorry, ex-cult member.
Oh, boy. That can't be what we lead with. Hey, Mom, you talked to Doric and seems good?
I did. I mean, if your benefactor comes through, I think that we'll be able to sway his name. He said that he would send a letter out post-haste to make an emergency summons.
Yep, my benefactor definitely will agree to this.
Is this? I feel like Pepper would have left this part out of the story. Did you tell us
Xeris
about
was
this?
there when I told you, so I mean, I don't know if I would have heard. It probably wouldn't have been the most detail, but
Swindling would not be something that I would care about and or repeat if you left it out of the story. Let's just leave it at that.
it's not swindling. If I saved Callan's life and he fucking owes me, he's gonna come through for me on this.
That's true. That is true. That is true.
That's
But I feel
accurate.
like that's just very irrelevant in the
Yeah,
what's
I
happening.
probably wouldn't have mentioned that part, to be fair. Yeah. So this is new, I guess.
William
Hey,
says, so, seems like we've got everything in place. We get the summons will be sent out tonight. You all go collect your artifact that allows you to travel great distances. You get out of town tonight. We make sure that Kashar knows it. And then tomorrow, when we have the emergency meeting and his attention is all focused on that, we attack the castle, and you 5, I guess, jump inside and do what you need to do.
Strike at noon.
If this goes badly, is it going to cause a war between the Shattered Helm and the Fellguard?
Potentially. Oliver, do you know why we wear this? And he holds up his right hand, and it's got a black glove on it.
Out of game, surely he would have told me this at some point
Yeah.
during my childhood.
Yeah, give me a history check with advantage. Or actually, no, a religion check with advantage.
Fun fact, you told me this earlier today.
I
I
did.
could just look at my phone. I rolled a nat 20 though.
Okay. You know exactly why they wear this glove. This glove symbolizes the maimed god, Tyr.
Yes.
He is missing his right hand, and his title, because of that, because he is the god of justice, his title in sort of a dark comedy kind of way became the even-handed. All of the members of the Paladin Guild wear this glove to represent the like self-sacrifice that he made here. And so you would know that.
Just try to remember that the people in the Fellguard, they don't know. They're gonna fight, but for all intents and purposes, they're innocent in this.
We'll make sure that the guards live to see another day. But I want you to remember, all of you, that there may be consequences to our actions tomorrow. But we shouldn't let that stop us in doing what's right. If this is something that you four believe has to be done, and I believe that you believe, then I know you're making the right choice. I just don't want
All
you
right.
to hesitate because of fear of what will happen.
Yeah, no. That's... Yeah.
Not
we can,
again.
We better move if we're gonna meet Kashar in time.
Four of you
Right.
leave the cottage, and with a new carriage and horses with Marcin, head back up to the Fellguard. As you travel, you have a brief moment to chat between the four of you.
Everyone, I know it's been like, you know, a wild past 24 hours. And I just wanted to say that while I am aware the circumstances of the situation were not within any of our control, I am very sorry that I took the initiative without asking or consulting with any of you on what I did. I was running on just panic, and I'm not really proud of it, but yeah. And Voxy, I am really sorry. I know you loved Sarah. And I will hold that choice with me for the rest of my life and spend everything I do trying to make it up to you and to her.
I forgive you.
Okay. Can I hug you now?
Yeah. Yeah, you can. I know that this was hard for you. And obviously, it hurt me a lot. But you're the one who has to live with the decision. None of us do. None of us had a decision. And I think that's going to be easier to live with in the long run. So you did the harder and braver thing. As much as I hated what that decision led to, and it's never not going to hurt, but I can't go into this angry with you. And so I won't.
Okay. If you wanted to hit me one time, I would be really brave about it. I would not like it, but I would do it.
I know. You've been brave enough. And I'm going to pat them on the head.
It's at this point the carriage arrives at the gates, the front doors, and you watch as Roby jumps down with Marcin, opens up the door, gestures with a deep, deep bow as you all exit. You walk inside the Fellguard. Walking through the main hall, it's still got some hustle and bustle to it. You see a bunch of hunters are moving about. A couple new scribes are working. You see that there are knights who are standing alert in there. The place feels weird. You know that feeling where you like visit an old job and it like feels very familiar, but also like you're not allowed back there, like that strange feeling of it. This is what the Fellguard feels like right now.
You mean anytime I go to Target?
Yeah, anytime you go to Target, it's what
Every
the
time I
Fellguard
visit
is like.
you at your job, Jordan.
Fair enough.
Wait, have I been getting that feeling because Wes has been going to Target?
Yeah. Every single time Wes goes to Target, an angel loses its wings.
Oh my god.
So you
For sure, just walking straight to
Yeah, no
Kishore.
worries.
Yeah.
You go in, and as you arrive, you see as Steward Zuri looks up at you and says, "He's expecting you."
I'm for sure not even looking at him and just going through the door.
You walk inside,
The things you do.
and you open the door, and you see that he is at his desk writing something. He looks up and sees you and goes, "Oh, good. Everyone's here.
As promised.
Please come on in. Take a seat." You see that there are 4 chairs that have been brought out in front of the desk. So,
Very cautiously.
Voxy, Oliver, how are we feeling?
Fantastic.
Let's try that one more. Let's try that one more time. What do you say? And he snaps his fingers. I need all 4 of you to give me charisma saving throws.
I haven't even needed my dice this whole time.
Jesus
I rolled
Christ.
A 14.
Okay.
5.
21.
An 11.
Pepper. You are the only person who realizes that a zone of truth has been cast.
Okay. All right.
Xeris, Voxy, and Oliver, the 3 of you cannot speak a
Wait, don't we
you-
know if we fail?
Oh yeah, no, you definitely know if you fail.
He's telling us we failed.
Yeah, I'm telling you, you failed. You cannot
We
speak a
failed.
deliberate,
I just know
deliberate.
what a zone of truth is.
Yeah,
So,
you recognize that
Oh,
this has
gotcha,
been
gotcha.
cast.
the
Yeah.
effect. Yeah.
You cannot speak a deliberate lie while in this radius, and Kashar knows who passed and who failed. I will say, all of you are aware that the spell has been cast, and thus you can avoid answering questions that you would normally respond with a lie. There are ways to
Can
work
I,
around this,
Jordan?
but yes.
Can I do something wild right now?
Yeah.
Can I have chosen to fail? Because I'm a good liar, and I would like for me to not be the only one he's not listening to right now.
You know what? I'll say that you can choose to fail this. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So all 4 of you failed the zone of truth. So reminder, you cannot speak a deliberate lie while inside this room. Again, there are ways to go about this. There are saying things that are technically true and whatnot.
Kashar, you don't have to do this. Our minds are made up.
I think for the first couple weeks, it's probably best if I know. Voxy, Oliver, how are we feeling right now?
I am feeling free, Kashar. For the longest time, I held such an analytical thinking on everything, thinking about every possible consequence, everything that could go wrong. But after what you and I did to that swindler, that loan shark, I finally understand what it means to act based on what you know to be true. And now, because of you, I have been put back in contact with something bigger than me, something more powerful. And now, I'm free to look past the consequences and do what I know needs to be right. So thank you.
Voxy, do you have an essay as well?
I'm certainly not as eloquent as Oliver. But you asked me how I'm feeling?
Yes.
Is that correct? I'm feeling as though a weight has been lifted and shackles have been taken off of me. Because after yesterday, it was yesterday, was that was when after yesterday.
Yeah, day and a half, yeah.
When after the Arcane Alliance, after the choice, we'll call that the event, the choice. I realized I didn't want to stand for evil. I didn't want evil to prevail. And I looked in the face of true evil that day. And I am here with you to root it out.
We done?
I got a little essay-ish there. I'm sorry. I have a lot of thoughts happening right now.
As you should. Let's be honest. Look, I know you all 4 failed the spell. So I know we're all just dancing around this. And that's okay. Pepper, have we thought about my new special assignment that I've given you for?
Yes.
What's the plan?
Actually found out that the majority of the cult is residing in the mines of Silver Oak. So we're gonna head off tonight and go,
How'd you learn this?
take out the head. We found a rogue cult member.
Where'd you find him at?
He was hanging out in oh god, Jordan, what was the
It was the
Kombucha aficionado.
Yeah, kombucha
Kombucha
aficionado.
aficionado.
Yeah, the kombucha aficionado.
Where's that at?
I can't remember, but that was what I was trying to ask is what place that was.
Trade Town.
Yes.
It's in Trade Town.
Interesting. So you learned this. Why didn't you share this with me this morning?
To be honest, I wasn't exactly sure it was true, but Xeris and I went to the library and we pulled out a lot of books on the cults, and it does seem to track.
Pepper, I would say that is a half-truth there.
Yeah. We didn't read the books, but we pulled them out.
It's true.
We for sure pulled them
Give
out.
me a
You for
deception.
sure pulled them out, Jordan.
You did, but you said it does seem to track
said-
at the very, very end. I'm not disputing that
part,
you
yeah.
found books. I'm saying,
No,
I'm saying
I
what
understand,
I'm
I understand.
disputing
I
is
will
the
make
very,
the
very
check.
last
I
sentence.
got close. I got close.
You're tickling against a lie there.
Yeah, that's fair. Except I am really good at lying. So
Yeah, you are.
Let's give me a 25.
Nice. You see as he stares and goes, all right, vetting your sources. I like that. So, what's the play?
We're going to head to what is it called?
Silver
Silver Oak. We're gonna get on the road to Silver Oak tonight.
Xeris,
Yes.
you're heading to Silver Oak to do what?
Well, we're gonna root out the rest of the cult members and figure out how we can pin this on them.
I don't think that's true. Give me a deception check.
Shit.
And I think I'm gonna. That was a almost a blatant lie. You are
That was a blatant
you
lie.
are fully not going to do that.
15.
I think that he is going to stand up from behind his desk and come around and stand in front of you, Xeris. And he's gonna go, now why'd you lie about that?
Listen, we can sit here and just pretend to tell you what you want to hear, or we can just talk about what's really going on.
What is really going on, Xeris?
You're trying to find a reason to turn us to our darker sides, and we're okay with that. But we're trying to find a reason of how to make it work, both for us and for you. So we'll figure out what's going on with the cult. And then we'll come up with, I don't know, whatever reason you typically use whenever you cover up something like you did with the incident with Oliver. And we'll come back and we'll tell you that. And then you can write a beautiful, fancy headline in another newspaper about how we solved this mystery. And then you can then tell us what actually you fucking want us to do. Or you can tell us that now. But either way, we need to do something to pretend that we're investigating this, because we both know that we're pretending.
He is
So I was
going
lying,
to-
but this is pretending.
He's going to walk around your chair and get right behind you.
I'm so stressed.
He puts both of his hands on your shoulders, and you feel as they work their way up along the back of your neck and come over and grip the side of your cheeks. You feel as one hand comes around and grabs your jaw, and the other hand goes and grabs the back of your neck.
Kashar, if you hurt him, we won't be able to finish the work we started.
He
Look,
squeezes, and Xeris, you feel an immense pressure as your head begins to be crushed. He's not going all the way here, but he is showing you what he's capable of. He leans down and whispers in your ear, Xeris, and says, "Are you going to try and kill me?"
I don't think I'd be able to.
He lets go of your head and puts a hand on your shoulder and taps it and says, "I knew you were the smartest." He walks around the desk and he sits down and he goes, "Right. So Silver Oak." And at that point, the door opens up and you see as Steward Zuri comes in, and she has in her hand 2 letters. And she says, "I'm sorry, this just arrived." And she comes running in and she drops them off. You see as he takes them and he opens them up, looks at them and goes, and you watch as his expression changes. What was like absolute like control of the situation. Whoever would like to in here, give me an insight check.
I got a 17.
Hell yeah.
Got an 18.
Hell yeah.
I'm not gonna roll because I don't have very good insight.
We don't all need it.
All right, Pepper. You and Oliver both catch, for the briefest moment, confusion come across his face. This is not an emotion that you have ever seen Kashar have. He's always been in control. He has always known exactly what was going to happen. And in this moment, the emotion goes across his face, and then he instantly conceals it and goes, "Well, I have things to attend to. The 4 of you, free to go. Head up towards Silver Oak and do what you need to do. I'll see you in, let's say, 3 days' time."
Probably 2. And I'm going to get up.
Hopefully not even that long.
Xeris, give me a deception check.
God damn it.
He keeps saying untrue shit, man.
I know.
Why did you all of a sudden decide that now's the time for
Playing
Xeris to
specifics.
overshare?
Yeah.
Oh, calm down.
Come on.
1 sec. My dice fell. Does it count as a 1?
Mister, I stand in the corner and wield a knife.
20.
No,
I
if
did
it
nat
falls
20 when
if
you
it
drove.
falls
Yeah,
off
it
the
rolled a
table,
nat
it's a nat
20.
1 because if you can't hit a table, how are you gonna pass this check?
Well, legitimately, my thing is angled not towards the right direction, and it went right off my desk.
Deception check, please,
And
my
I
friend.
can't find my dice. So I'm going to either find another nat 20 or roll it on...
Just roll it on roll 20. That's fine.
Okay. Deception. $18.
Okay, very nice. The dice used hide as a bonus action. All right, so yeah, you say this to Kashar, and he seems like he dismisses you kind of offhandedly, and the four of you leave the room.
I'm just gonna elbow Xeris.
I'm in a mood. I'm sorry.
After you exit the space, you all feel that feeling of that zone of truth leave your body. This like sense of control and having to dance around the truth is gone now. And after traveling down the hall for a little bit, you find Mordain, the person part of the Locator Guild.
Mordain!
Hey,
hi.
you guys take care of this. I'm gonna go. I'll be back.
All right. How can I help you?
Mordain, okay, so I was wondering, because, you know, we still have the Johnslets, and I was wondering, we're going on another mission, and I was wondering if we could have the fifth one for a little, apprentice we have taken on.
Oh, an apprentice.
That's like an official one. We're working up to that, but like a trial run of an apprentice.
Sure. Well, I've got the thing set up in the courtyard for the guild halls still. And then he sort of like, we trail off during this conversation, and we are going to jump over to Oliver. Oliver, where are you heading?
So it's late at night, so probably not the library. Probably to Barham's room.
Okay. You knock on the door. The door opens, and you see Barham is sitting there. Or standing there at the door. He's not sitting on the ground.
Hey.
Hey.
Just gonna
But please come in. He opens the door, and you walk inside. It's a very, very quaint apartment setup. You can see that he has a bunch of scrolls that are sitting on his desk. There's a candle, and it's clear that he was writing something. Looking at it, you can see that he is going over a list of bounties. It seems that he is no longer an intern.
Nice. You're the scribe.
Yeah, after Nesh, they promoted me to the position. So I've been going through bounties. There's a lot of monsters still out there.
Yeah. That's actually part of the reason I'm here. Listen, Barham, you can't be here tomorrow.
Can I ask why?
I would really prefer that you didn't. I need you to pack a bag, and I've got some friends that can take you somewhere. But you need to leave the Fellguard immediately, and Dawnspire preferably.
Okay. Let me grab my stuff. He goes, and you see as he grabs like enough clothes for a couple days, puts them into a bag, and then comes back and goes, "What about you? Are you coming with?"
If all goes well tomorrow, then I won't have to. You'll be able to come back.
Okay.
I'll send my owl as soon as it's safe. But if I don't send the owl, don't come back.
Okay. Can I make a request?
Of course.
Can we kiss before I go?
Definitely. And
You-
I just fully going.
A big smooch and a hug, and
Fully-
you can tell that there's tears coming from his face, and he holds your cheeks and pulls back and presses his forehead up against yours and then kisses you again and goes, okay, I'll go. But you come back.
I'm really looking forward to doing that a bunch more times.
Me too.
Okay.
Be safe, Oliver, please, for me.
Yeah, most definitely.
And on most definitely, he walks out the door. And you see as he throws his bag over his shoulder. Oliver, we cut back to you rejoining with Pepper, Voxy, and Xeris. Pepper, you're tossing the jauntlet in your hand casually. Mordain was an absolute pushover. It was like toying with him.
Okay. Did I get any info out of him on like if he fixed any little work or...
I think that you did hear that they've done some retooling of the machine, and they think that they have cleaned up some of the technical hiccups that you experienced the last time you used it.
And did he seem confident when he said that?
He did.
Okay. Good. Well, I have no reason not to believe him.
So Xeris, Pepper, Voxy, and Oliver, the four of you all climb into the carriage, Roby at the front with Marcin, and you head down the streets of Dawnspire. And leaving out of the northeast exit, you start heading in the direction of Silver Oak. And as the night gets darker and darker, you think about, in about 12 hours or so, you're going to finally face off against Kashar. And you may not make it through, but you'll be damned if he wins. And so, folks at home, we have ourselves one final episode left of the Fellguard Season 2, as our heroes are about to face off against the mighty and dangerous Kashar. They know what they have to do. They have set an emergency summons meeting. They're going to try and sneak into the Fellguard, and they're going to try to get him to confess, or at the bare minimum, lose his temper and slip up. Next Wednesday, starting at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, we are going to start the finale. Please stay tuned because we'll be announcing details surrounding a little Q&A session that we are going to do after the finale. We don't know if it'll be directly after or if it'll be like another stream date, but stay tuned for that. If you join our Discord, we'll be posting info in there. Folks, get ready. Like Senpai says, get the jawbreaker. and let's crack some skulls. All right, folks at home, I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful evening, and we'll see you next Wednesday. Same Fellguard channel. Good night.
Right here.
Bye.